Hello guys and welcome back to UKDiver. If it's your first time here, then welcome. It's very nice to be here. I'm very glad to be here, and today we're looking at this, which is just a bit of metal and really not very exciting from one point of view. But if you are setting up your first wing and backplate system and want to use a one-piece harness, okay, so that's the DIR style one-piece harness, no brakes in it, the very, very strongest of the strong, then you might be interested in picking yourself one of these up because it makes donning and doffing an absolute breeze with a one-piece harness. So, but I'm going to show you how to fit it to a backplate because we're just webbing one up. Now, I'm not going to do a video on how I set a backplate up. There are plenty of videos on YouTube that show you how to do that. And I'm not going to put repetitive shite on YouTube because there's just enough of that on there. So I will leave a link down there to Offal Shoffle's video. That's the video I watched when I was learning. I highly recommend it to you. So if you want to learn how to thread up a backplate and all that kind of stuff and how you position your D-rings and all that kind of jazz, check out Akeem's video down there, link down below. Let's bring you some close-ups and I'll show you where this goes in relation to that. So if you've not done this before, watch Akeem's video, then come back to this one. So I'll see you in a second. All right then guys, so I am taking you from behind. So this one's going to be the fingers video. Okay, so you're not looking at me. So anyway, here it is. I don't know what to call this. So the company that first created this was called a gear, and they called this the Harper. Now the company's well wound up, the website's gone, I can't find any sign of it anymore. It looked like a German company, but there is a video where they demonstrate this, that again, link down below, so check this out. I'm going to call this the Harper. Now obviously this is not made by a gear anymore, it's actually made by Morez. It's part of their XR range, and it's the shape of this really that makes it work. Okay, so remember this sort of, we didn't call it the nipple because I'm a man and I love calling things nipples. So that's what we're going to call it. We're going to call it the nipple, and that's really, you know, the bit that makes this work. So how does this fit in? Well, as you can see, we've got Lee's backplate. So he bought this second-hand, 60 quid with all the hardware. He's bought some very nice halcyon webbing. Look, beautiful. And he got a bit of a bargain, 60 quid for all the hardware and everything. So yeah, no, pretty good, including this, which is nice. So how does this fit? So normally, when you're setting the back plate up, this shoulder, you know, once you've got all that on, would then come down, and basically it would go in that hole there, and it would come back out this hole here with a stainless steel tri-glide behind it to lock the webbing in place so it doesn't slide. Now the Harper replaces that, so what you do is you actually thread that through the back like that. Does that make sense? Can you see that? Let's lean you over a little bit. Oh, there you go. So you can see that? Oh, you can see my red slippers. Nice. Right, so that's what that happens, and that's locked in place, okay? Dropped it. Back of it is nice and wide, and this plate bit here won't go through those slots. And this works with, well, every back plate I've ever tried. So you've got a standard back plate, you're not going to have a problem. So that goes through there, and then what happens is, just get this sorted because it's not been trimmed and it's all quite rolly-uppy, is instead of going down through there, it slips through there like that. Okay, so there's your shoulder strap. Yeah. And it goes down through there, and then obviously this comes around you. Now, obviously, this bit obviously goes to the buckle in the front. Now, what you don't want is to undo that buckle and then this all come flying out and fall to bits. But of course, it's not going to, because once you've put that on, you're then going to fit your SPG billy ring, and I do highly recommend billy ring, or what we call a fixed D-ring, because you can have folded E-rings, but they're an absolute pig to find when you're just, you know, trying to do it by feel. This one much better, so do yourself a favour and get yourself a fixed ring. So what that does now is obviously that means that webbing can't go any further than that. So when you put that over your shoulder, that's going to be there, and then what you do is once the weight of the rig's on, so you've got maybe your twin set, this is going to be a single set. So you've got your single set on or your twin set, the weight of the rig is going to pull on this webbing and it's going to put it there. And what you do is you put it on, you flick the rig up, and as you do that, you pull this forward and down and it'll tighten the shoulder down. And then what stops it coming back is, do you remember the nipple? This bit here? What actually happens is a bit of that webbing will roll over and cramp up in that nipple. I don't know if you can see that very well. And basically that's what locks it in. Okay? So a couple of flicks, or maybe one flick, depends on how good you get it. It used to take me two with the twin set. You get this shoulder nice and tight, and then again, when the weight come back down, it would pinch in the webbing like this, and then lock the whole system in place, and then obviously that would come round and then get put through the waist. You know, this is your waist. So it really does let you extend this shoulder strap, again, maintaining the one-piece harness strength and security, an extra few inches. Now, you know, gents, you can't knock an extra few inches, okay? It's not going to give you loads of room, but it's an extra 33 inches. And again, put it on your right-hand shoulder because that's where your dive computer is going to be. That's where your auto dump on your dry suit is going to be. So make that a bit easier to get in. This arm in first, okay? Then the left-hand side arm. Stand up. Chuck your rig up onto your back. As you're doing that, pull that nice and tight, and literally jobs are good. And really, really funky little bit of design. Been totally ripped off by Morris. But anyway, it still means you can get one, so that's all good. So what I'm going to do is we're going to get this all sized up and fitted up. Lee's going to get his dry suit on now. We'll get all this put together, and then we will do a little demonstration, flick and tug. So that's exciting. So we'll come back to you in a bit, guys, all right? Right then, guys, we've got Lee mainly set up. It's kind of there for the first go. So here he is. So this is what I mean. Look how much space this is now giving him to get his arm in. So take your arm out, Lee. Let's do it. Let's do a full. See that? So how easy was that? Okay, because this is the side with the gear on. So if we look down here, look. I'll tell you what. Let me get the light. So if we look down here, look, you see, there's that billy ring locking the gear in, yeah? And that's what's giving him that extra space to get the arm in so easy. So what we'll do now is I'm going to help him do the good buddy thing, get the other one in. So this is the fixed arm, and as you can see, a lot less space, which is always going to be on a one-piece harness because there's nothing to adjust, so it's got to be sort of tight enough so it's not too baggy when you're wearing it, yeah? But obviously with enough space left to get in. So that's why this gear, or the Harper, makes it so much easier. So as you can see, there's got a lot of slop here at the minute, and we need to take that up. So if you would do as the honours, Lee, and if you can stand up from there, if you've got the quad power, rah, you got to make the noise, mate. You got to make the noise. Right, so turning faces then. I'm going to try and get a good angle. So this is what you need to do. So give it a flick and a tug. So if you saw that, you give it a flick up and then a tug. So just wind it back again. So again, once you let it go, look, that D-ring is going to go back and stop it from all coming out. So again, do a flick and a tug. So that's tightened up that shoulder. And then now, yeah, put it through the waist belt on the other side. And obviously once that's together, you're all good. And then once we've done that, we'll have a little look. That's it. And doesn't he look pretty? There we go. And then let's have a look. So we get the light down. Now you can't, it's not quite folded over as much as it is on the twin set, but you see that the webbing has gone up into that nipple bit and has locked that webbing in. So that's not going anywhere now. And again, it can't do because this weight belt on it. So really, really useful bit of kit that, guys. And I only wanted to show you because the gear video, it's kind of lost in the annals. You've probably seen them and you've gone, what's that? I have no idea. So I just wanted to show you what it is. Again, check the gear video out because they show it perhaps a bit more professionally than what I've got because they had a studio and everything. I've just got a Lee. So that's what it is. But anyway, that's it for that one. What I'm going to call the gear Harper, made by Mars at the moment. So if you see one, you're doing a backplate setup, I'd highly recommend it. This is Lee's first time and he's already said that makes life a lot easier, doesn't it? So I hope that's been useful for you guys. That's it. I've got to dash off and pick the missus up because the train's cancelled again. So I'm going to wrap this one up here. So Thanks from me, thanks from Lee for watching, and as always, I will see you on the next one.